Everybody has a Corolla story or a Camry story. The Corolla is tailor-made for first-time commuters, and the Camry has been the official vehicle of after-school pickups since I was learning algebra. Today, these models are very different from the Toyotas of your childhood. So let's dive into these surprisingly modern cars. I'm Ryan from Edmunds. Each year, we painstakingly test hundreds of cars, while CarMax experts buy, sell, and appraise thousands and thousands. We're combining our car testing knowledge with their experience to help you make the right choice on your next car. Hey, before we get started, click like and subscribe to see more CarMax videos like this one. And if you'd like to read a full article comparing these two models, click the link in the description below. Right here, we have two models that are very common on the used market, so you'll have quite a selection to choose from. First up is the 2020 Toyota Corolla. Now, the model year is important here because for 2020, the Corolla got a new body style. And trust me, you want the new body style. In 2020, the Corolla also got a range of improvements across the board, plus hybrid and hatchback variants if you prefer. But we'll stick with the ubiquitous sedan that we have here today. CarMax sells the 2020 Corolla for an average of about $17,000, depending on things like the trim level, mileage, options, and other factors. And over here, we have a 2020 Toyota Camry. Now, this version of the Camry came out in 2018, so it's been around a little longer than the Corolla. But there are lots of changes you should know. The Camry comes with the same spacious trunk and smooth ride that you'll remember from your middle school years. Memories. CarMax sells the 2020 Camry for an average of about $24,000, again, depending on things like the trim level, mileage, options, and other factors. So obviously, there's a difference in size between the smaller Corolla and the larger Camry. But here's what you really need to know about these two. The Corolla is a small sedan with seating for up to 5 passengers. For 2020, it's a little lower to the ground, which makes it look fun. It's also a little wider and a little shorter front to back. Don't you just want to put it in your pocket? This is also a light car. That will come in handy later. The Camry is a mid-size sedan, so it's bigger than the Corolla, and it shows. This car has a much longer wheelbase, which makes for a smooth ride. That also allows plenty of space for passengers inside, and all that length creates a large cargo area. More on that in just a minute. Over our years of testing at Edmunds, we've come to associate Toyota sedans with spacious interiors. Let's see how these measure up. This tiny car took a huge leap forward when the redesigned 2020 model came out. Let me show you what I mean. Up front, you have a roomy cabin, and the driver's seat has a lot of adjustability, so it's easy to get nice and comfy behind the steering wheel. However, when you go into the back seat, space is more limited. And if you're around 6 feet tall, like me, you'll quickly notice that there's not a whole lot of headroom either. But the overall interior quality is definitely improved, and it makes the Corolla much more competitive in its segment against rivals, because you have less cheap plastic in here, and when we were driving around, we didn't notice any annoying creaks or rattles. Most of all, there are interesting visual cues in here. In a Corolla, you have this cool line that runs from the bottom of the touchscreen out to the edge of the dash, and in this SE model, you get cool blue accent stitching on the seats. Pretty nice. Standard equipment includes a 7-inch touchscreen with Apple CarPlay, but there's no Android Auto available. That doesn't come until 2021 models. To ease the sting, the 2020 Corolla does have Bluetooth compatibility, so that should help. We do think you'll like the controls because they're clearly labeled and everything is nicely within reach. Pro tip, if you get the XLE or XSE trims, those come with a larger 8-inch touchscreen and nice and toasty heated seats. Now let's check out the Camry. Now, the interior of the Camry is one of its best attributes. You've got a really airy cabin with lots of space to move around and get comfortable. Plus, your outward visibility and lines of sight are very, very clear so you can see the road ahead. If you get into the back seat, there's immediately a big difference between this and the Corolla. There's lots of room to move around, and it's especially good for taller adults. The Camry has lots of room even if you're comparing it to other cars that are this size. But if you compare it to the Corolla, it feels like an arena back here. However, when it comes to material quality inside the Camry, it's probably not going to impress anybody. Sure, there's a pretty dramatic design, including this big line that makes it look like the screen is floating above the center console. But when you get up close to these controls, There's some pretty cheap looking plastic buttons, and the steering wheel feels like it's been carried over from a few years ago. And even if you're considering a Camry or a Corolla, the jump in price up to the Camry, I don't really think is reflected in the quality of the materials here. If you're looking for a sedan this size and interior quality is important to you, we'd recommend you take a look at something like a Honda Accord or a Mazda 6. But if this is your first time getting into this generation of the Camry, you'll probably be impressed by the style, as well as how easy it is to locate and use all of the controls. When it comes to standard equipment, just like the Corolla, the Camry has a 7-inch touchscreen, but unlike the Corolla, you get Apple CarPlay and Android Auto standard. Aha! Also similar to the Corolla, if you get the Camry XLE or XSE, you get an 8-inch screen plus heated seats. But bonus, leather interior. Here are the key takeaways from the interior. The Corolla is surprisingly modern and comfortable. Its cabin is finally not a sore point. With the Camry, it feels dated inside, but oh so spacious. Plus, you have access to more optional features. On the road, smooth is the name of the game with both of these cars. But there are key differences between the two Toyotas. So here's what you should expect behind the wheel. So, here we are in the Corolla. Now, compact sedans always have the potential to feel really peppy on the road. But does the Corolla fit the bill? The standard engine is a 1.8-liter 4-cylinder, but this model has the larger 2.0-liter. It may be bigger, but this is definitely still on the slow side. You can still pick a manual transmission if you want, but the CVT automatic is much more common. Dynamically, the car is no better than average, but because of its low weight, it actually feels fast and even a little fun. Normally, we don't mind noise coming from under the hood, but this isn't a good one. It sounds drony. You get steering that's light and easy, but it doesn't really stand out. If you're looking for something zippy in the class, we recommend the Mazda 3 and the Honda Civic. So yeah, the Camry is a bigger sedan with bigger power. But does that mean bigger fun? Check this out. The Camry gets a 2.5-liter 4-cylinder or a 3.5-liter V6. This one has the 4-cylinder, and while it's not fast, it does feel strong. There's no manual transmission option on this one, and the standard automatic is extra smooth. Plus, it's geared toward fuel economy. Dynamically, this is worlds better than past Camrys, but it's still not sporty like some rivals are. If you drive it smooth, you get rewarded with a comfortable and even responsive drive. The steering is accurate and the brake pedal feels good. Just don't push the Camry too hard. It's a show horse, not a race horse. To break it down, there is no fast Corolla. But the plus side is this generation is easy to drive and good on gas, as we'll discuss later. By comparison, the Camry feels solid, sturdy, and miles better than generations in the past. Here's what you should know about living with these vehicles day to day. In our Edmunds testing, we found that the Corolla has one slight inconvenience and one major advantage. When it comes to cargo capacity, the Corolla has decent trunk space, but compared to other cars its size, it's definitely less than average. The other thing you should know is that when you fold the rear seats down, they don't go all the way flat with the trunk. Storage is just not front of mind with the Corolla. With the 2-liter engine and CVT transmission, it gets an EPA-estimated 34 mpg combined, and it's very good in the class. However, getting the manual transmission or the 1.8-liter engine will lower the EPA rating. The Camry has gone through lots of changes over the course of its lifespan, but its focus on practicality remains a constant. It's got all of the basics that we look for when it comes to storage: a large capacity, wide opening, and a low liftover height. It's also got little handles back here so you can fold down the rear seats. Just like the Corolla, they don't go all the way flat, but the Camry still has one of the largest trunks you can buy in this segment. Throughout the cabin, you'll find lots of storage spaces for your small items, which is a definite plus. And for its size, fuel economy is strong. Our model has an EPA-estimated 31 mpg combined, and you can get up to 34 mpg with the base model Camry. Those numbers are great for the class. To round it up, the Corolla's excellent fuel economy makes up for its storage restrictions. We think that makes it a great light-duty vehicle. What's great about the Camry is it's built to be used all the time. Loading, hauling, long-range driving, it's all good. It's no coincidence that Toyota sedans appeal to so many different types of people. They can handle almost anything you throw at them and help you save on gas in the process. The great thing has been watching them catch up with the times in recent years. The Corolla and the Camry are now much more modern than they've been in the past. That's good news for you. If you find a 2020 model Corolla or Camry that fits your needs, these are generally very good models to buy because they've got updated features and they're comfortable on the road. Still, for driving fun or truly outstanding features, you should probably look elsewhere. Toyota makes comfortable and practical cars that deliver. We like the Corolla for a compact ride at the right price, and the Camry for a versatile vehicle that's just a little bit better than average at almost everything. Let us know which one of these cars you plan on taking home someday soon. Thanks for watching. Click like and subscribe to see more CarMax videos. And if you'd like to read more information about the Corolla or the Camry, click the link in the description below.